Hello, hello. So today is June 21st, 2025. It is the first day of summer, by the way, so happy first day of summer. I am in Korea and it is so stinking hot here, which it always is every summer, so I'm sadly suffering a bit, but I hope everyone out there, wherever you are this summer, hope you're taking care of yourself. But anyways, I didn't say this in my previous videos, but I definitely do not plan to have a schedule of when I make videos for this channel. And also, is there even anyone out there who's interested in my videos? But whatever, I'm just making these videos for fun. Whoever stumbles upon them, welcome, and just enjoy my random talk about PLAVE. I do not have a schedule. I will just make a video when I feel like it, and today is that day when I feel like it. But not only when I feel like it, but I have to have time as well. I feel like these days I don't have enough time, but it's whatever. So today, just thankfully, I have the energy and time to make another video. And so when I was thinking of what kind of video to make for today, because I plan to make different kinds of videos because this channel is still very new, so I plan to make these other videos instead, but I sadly don't think I have the energy to make those kinds of videos, but I did wanted to do those first. But yeah, sadly my schedule of videos I want to make will be all over the place, so just look forward to that. And so anyways, today I want to review one of PLAVE's live stream videos, and I plan to do this. Okay, I don't want to say I'll do it for all their live streams, but I mean, I think I could, but I just don't want to make promises. But this is one of the things that I wanted to do later on, not now. I want to do it later on. And I just want to give a review of what I think about their live stream videos and what parts I like or things that I want to comment about, and just, fangirl about them. That's basically what I want to do. And I do want to say that my Korean fluency, I can understand most of what they say, but if I have it with Korean subtitles, I can understand it a lot better, because sometimes they say words that I'm not sure if I heard it correctly, or if they say a word that I don't even know, then when I see it in the Korean subtitle, I can see what it is and look it up, and then I would understand it 100%. So that's how I am about it. And I'm really proud of them that I think this only happened a few months ago, where suddenly their translation subtitles for their live stream videos are actually pretty good right now. Before, they were just AI generated Google Translate kind of translations. They can give you a general meaning about it, but still it'll be like kind of wonky, And so I do think that's really great. I think they have someone that actually checks their translation subtitles, which I find very impressive. And so anyways, I will not look at the English subtitle, but sometimes I would see the English subtitle if I really want to make sure that I understood what they said. But in my opinion, yeah, sometimes it confuses me when I see the English subtitle, because I can understand the Korean, and then when I read the English subtitle, and sometimes I feel like it doesn't match what they said in Korean, because there's so much underlying meaning when you talk in Korean. But anyways, it's so underlined. You don't have to know it if you don't know any of the Korean language. Just, yeah, don't worry about it. But for me, because I can understand both English and Korean, it's always it's tough. That's all I have to say. And so anyways, I prefer to just see it only in Korean is best for me. So when we see this play video together, I will not play the parts, like, play the audio when they're playing music. Hopefully, I'm going to be skipping those parts, but, just in case if it happens, like, I have to, like, not to make sure none of the music gets played. And I'm going to have the Korean subtitles on so I can understand fully what they're saying. And I just want to give my review about it. So not a summary. I just want to fangirl and review about it. So this is their live stream that was done on June 9th, 2025. It's their PLAVE radio live stream, and this is their first live stream they do after doing a 2-week hiatus break, I guess. And so during those 2 weeks, the reason for that was because they moved to a bigger studio, or maybe an even nicer one. I don't know. They didn't really say exactly how their new building is, but they do talk about their new break room that they got. And so yeah, we'll talk about that in the next live stream. They talk about it, so we can talk about it then. So so this is their first live stream of June, and they're like, so also it's very rare where for a play radio live stream, all 5 members are here. So that's pretty rare. The last time they did this was on Christmas last year. So yeah, so since it's them coming back after a 2-week break, they just want to say hi to everyone, catch up, and yeah, I just want to talk about the parts I like from this live stream. So here we go. I should comment on this. So here, I mean, do they translate that? I don't think so, since there's no Korean subtitles coming up. I guess they don't, right? No, they don't. Okay, so I'll go ahead and translate, the thing that shows up here. Hold on. Go back to Korean. So it says here, part one for today's PLAVE radio is going to be our diary from our vacation, our break hiatus thing. And then the second part here, it says, do you want to listen together? We don't know yet what that means, but that's just what it says here. Do you want to listen together? And then the third part says, with the members, it's their segment where like seeing how much we match with each other, like me and the members, how much do we match with each other. So that's the third part. And so let's get this going. Yeah, so we see the 5 of them.
들리나요? 2025년 6월 9일
여기는 방학이 끝난 플레이브와 함께하는 플레이디오
첫 곡부터 듣고 올게요. 너에게로 달려가는 이 시공간을 넘어서 다운 이곳은 6번째 여름의 시작이었던 걸 꿈꿨어.
So not gonna play it because I mean, I wonder would anything because I'm always worried about YouTube copyright because I know how strict it is. And so hopefully them singing that little part hopefully won't do anything to me, but anyways, so the first song that they always do this with every PLAVE radio stream, the first song they play just to just to start things off, and they choose Six Summer, and I think that's very what's the word? It's very good sense because we are in June, which is the first month of summer, right? And so I believe that's why they picked that song, Six Summer. And also, it's my favorite PLAVE song. I can rant about this song forever, but I'll just do a short one for now. Like, yeah, when I was watching this, and then the first song is gonna be Six Summer, I'm like, oh, thank you. It's just that every time I listen to that song, it just always makes me feel really, I don't know, it just really touches me. It's a really, really just such a good song. I wish we could listen to it together, but again, YouTube copyright, let's not risk it. And so, yeah, and so that's just them saying, yeah, that what today's date, and then it's what's the first song we're gonna listen to, and then Pombi is always just a funny, silly guy. And then yeah, they sang a little bit of Six Summer. They always sound amazing at any moment when they sing. So yeah, hopefully nothing will happen to me that played here in my video. And so anyways, so they start off with Six Summer, and then they go about talking what they did during their vacation. So let me go through it to remember what things do they talk about.
일단 저희가
yeah.
한 1박 2일 정도의 이제 좀 재밌는
같이 놀았어요.
같이 놀았어요 저희끼리. 수영하고 거의 뭐 물에 살았죠.
Yeah. So just them saying that reminded me what they were talking about. So during those 2-month break, they just did lots of things that was relaxing. They hung out with friends and family. But one of the things that they did was that all 5 of them went on a trip together, which is so adorable. I don't know. They didn't say where exactly did they go. Of course, they're not going to tell us. They're in Kailum, right? Even though we know they're in South Korea, but because of them being in Kailum, yeah, they don't tell us the exact location of where they went, but they went somewhere, and there they played in the swimming pool and like other water sports, and also they were lodging there as well. I'm not sure how exactly their lodging was based on what they were saying, but it sounds like they were at like a pension. I don't know if that's the right English word for it, but I believe they not rented, I don't know, my English is dying these days, but they lodged at a place where they had their own swimming pool. That's what it sounded like based on their explanation about it. So I thought that was very interesting that they had their own private vacation together, and they had lots of fun. But oh my gosh, they said some things that really concerned me, but I wish I could find. But one of the things they talked about was Bombi here. So when they were playing in the swimming pool, I don't know if it was in their own swimming pool or a public swimming pool, but Noah said to Bombi, hey, can you do this thing on the tube, that round you know, I don't, again, I wonder if that's the right English word, but the tube, you know, the flotation device that you use when swimming. So Noah says to Bombi, "Hey, can you do this thing?" I don't know what exactly he said, but Bombi's like, "Yeah, of course I can do it." And so Bombi does it, and then he legit almost like had a big injury. So like Noah said like he was this close to like breaking his head, and I'm like, are you kidding me? So Noah's like, yeah, it was no, like Noah said that Bombi was could have died. He basically said that, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? So that really concerned me. But after he said that, just everyone was just laughing it off, like, you know, they don't know what to say after that. But I found that very concerning, to say that story. And so I hope, you know, these guys, they're still young and very what's the word, don't mind taking silly risks like that. But I hope, you know, when they're having vacation and playing around, they be as careful as possible, please, because that really concerned me that Bombi honestly could have died. So that's anyway, so yeah, I just, after hearing that story, I really hope they will be more careful. But not only that, they also talked about Hamin. So Hamin, he wasn't as terrible as Bombi almost dying, but Hamin, he's not like an excellent swimmer, but he swims okay. And so he went diving in the pool, and so I'm not sure how exactly he did it, but he dived really deep, and then sadly it was not, the pool wasn't as deep as he thought, and so when he was diving into it, he hit his face at the bottom of the pool. This poor guy. And so you know, that he's okay, of course, but he said when he came out of water, blood was dripping on his face, and I'm just like, okay, so that's kind of serious that you hit yourself and that you started bleeding. But he said he's fine. Everyone said he's fine. But you know, I appreciate them being honest to tell us these things. But I really hope, please, they need to stop getting hurt. They need to stop doing silly things. And yeah, if ever in the future, you know, they get into a really big, you know, injury, that's gonna be terrible, right? So I really hope, you know, they say these stories and they say, you know, it was kind of silly and funny, but still, hopefully they learn from it and do not get that injured again. So anyways, yeah, so that's just the highlights of their vacation that they did together, and those are the only parts that I can remember that really concerned me from that. So just yeah. Oh my gosh. And so anyways, so after they talk about their vacation, let's listen a bit.
혹시 하얀색인가요?
아니에요.
아, 그건 아니고.
하얀색은 아닌데 그 막 그런 게 있더라고. 뭐 대란,
네, 뭐
왕란,
그쵸,
풍란,
그쵸.
그러니까 이렇게 해가지고 그 계란이 크기가 조금 다릅니다.
저는 그냥 한 통으로.
맞아요. 한 통으로 해서 이거 반만 잘라서 숟가락으로 파먹으면 맛있어요.
맞아요.
오케이. 하실게요. 오케이. 알겠어요.
Oh, so if we're already hearing a song here, then yeah, I think as much as I can remember, they were just talking about food. Like earlier, they were just talking about food, but I honestly could not remember why were they talking about that. But anyway, so yeah, so they play the next song, and so after this song, I think that's when we're gonna hear their covers that they did, like a short snippet of a Japanese song. I feel pretty sure.
이렇게 눈을 싹 감아줘야 되는데.
계속 눈을 뜨고 있는 거예요. 해명하세요.
그거는 마치
네.
제가 봐야 되는 건 줄 알았죠, 저는. 제가 그걸 이 디렉을 받았을 때는.
No. So here at this part, they talk about that their Asia tour that they're gonna be doing this summer up until November. So on this day or the day before, the poster of them for the Asia tour came out, and it's them like in this spaceship and like in like anti-gravity kind of thing, right? And so they talk about how difficult it was posing for that poster and stuff. And I wonder, did they really actually do that for the poster pose? But again, I don't know. They're not going to tell us the complete truth, right? But I always do wonder what things they do to be able to take photos or film things as their virtual characters. So very interesting. So anyway, so that's them talking about it here. And also, yeah, so guys, so I am in Korea, and their concert in Seoul is going to be in August. But sadly, I will not be in Korea in August. Yeah, I'll be going on vacation. I planned this vacation a year ago, and so I had a feeling, you know, I might miss out on my K-pop stuff during this vacation that I planned, and yeah, and I'm gonna go on vacation for quite a long time, so I had a feeling, I would miss some things this summer, and so yeah, I sadly cannot go to their Korea's whole concert, but I will watch it online stream though. So yeah, it's only for one day. They will do the online stream of their Korea concert, and I look forward to it. I have to wake up no, not wake up. I have to basically stay up all night in the country that I'm gonna be in. I have to stay up all night to watch it online, but it's gonna be worth it. I don't care. It's just I have to deal with my consequence of taking a vacation, at a time they're doing their concert, whatever. Okay, so anyways, but yeah, I definitely will look forward to it, and thankfully it's a weekend. It's gonna be fine, and I'm on vacation as well. So it's like, anyways. So up until now, I've been their fan for about a year and a month or so. So I still feel like a new fan, but then again, they're only a 2-year-old group, so technically, we're all new. I don't know. So anyways, I've only been there, but it's been a while since I've been their fan, and sadly I have yet to ever see them in concert in person. I've just seen their online concert, and I did see their concert in the live viewing at a movie theater, which I thought was really nice, and so I wish they will do that again in Korea, but I don't know. So anyways, well, sorry, I really rant a lot. I really apologize. So anyways, since I cannot go to their Korea concert, but I looked into if maybe I could go to their other Asian country concerts. And out of all those countries, I think the easiest one for me to go to will be in Japan. And I don't know if I could go yet because they did not announce Japan concert ticketing info yet, which I find really weird because all the other countries have info, except still, even until now, still nothing about the Japan concert, and like they just debuted their Japan album and all that, and so I'm wondering what's going on. But anyway, so I'm always waiting every single day to see if I could even get a ticket to their Japan concert. But wish me luck if I can go, because I'm not sure how strict they would be about getting the ticket for their Japan concert. So let's hope for the best that they will be foreigner friendly and I could get a ticket. So that's short rant on that. And let's keep going reviewing about this live stream.
노래나 녹음 전에 이제 파트 정할 때 보면 항상 같이 이렇게 모여가 미와 미츠카
저희가 너무 편하게 잘 해주셔가지고
맞아요.
정말 재밌게 한 것 같아서 네. 쉬운
So okay. So now we're into the next song. So that means we're changing segments. So I do believe in that whole section they were only talking about the Asia tour, and I think based on a little bit of what I just heard, I think they were talking about how this is like 1 week before their Japan debut. So I think they were probably saying like what they think of the song and the dance, and to hyping it up basically. So I feel pretty sure that's what they did. And so today right now of me recording this is June 21st. So Japan album's already out, and I really want to give my review about it. So we'll see if I have time to do that. But anyways. Yeah, so I want to believe that's all they said here. And then, so this next segment, I do believe it's them talking about their short Japan cover songs. And Hamin. Hamin is legit a comedian. I don't know what happened to him in the past 2 weeks of him taking a break, but he's always been funny. As we know, Hamin has always been funny, but he, especially on this day, he was just being too funny. I just can't, because he was just really a top class comedian on this day, and so I wanna show to you guys those funny things that he did. And so anyways, so after this song is over, then they go about talking about their Japan cover songs. And so they go in age order. So first is Yejun, Noah, and down the line. And so when it was Yejun's time talking about it, I think they only made fun of him of that note. Let's see if I could find it.
그리고 켜주세요.
네? 이거 BGM을 깔려? 일단 BGM
자 이제 이렇게 얘기하면 돼요.
네.
Okay. But I'm really careful about music playing. Even if it's their cover song, it's still.
죄송합니다. 유튜브 되게 고소할 것 같은데. 안심인가요?
Yeah, so they only make fun of Yejun for that one part where he's like saying a note for a very long time, but they compliment him, you did very well, of course as we know, Yejun is such an amazing singer. Yeah, so I personally do really like his cover song. I don't know any of these Japanese songs, by the way. It was my first time hearing it from their cover, and I usually don't follow Japanese music anyway, and so I felt like all the songs that they chose really suited all of them. So I was like, wow, like that's they all chose really well, and I felt like they all sang it well. And so yeah, that's overall my review about it. And so when it comes to Noah's cover song, like Hamin was just ready to go to make fun of him. And so let's hopefully I can find that part 1 second. Oh yeah, it's right here somewhere. Yes.
와, 진짜 어떻게
정말 이게
네. 어떻게 모짜렐라 치즈도 슈네드 치즈도 들어가고 3종
So Hamin already was like looking at Noah's like I'm ready to like make fun of you, and so that's why Yejun was laughing at him as like, oh yeah, Hamin is like ready to say something. And so here Hamin is, should I probably turn on the English subtitles so you guys can know what's going on, but that's okay, let's just still keep it to Korean, or at least for my sake. And so anyways, so Hamin now starts it. He's like I have one expression that I can describe this as. And so he goes about saying it how like when you go into a hinoki tub, so hinoki is a type of Japanese wood, and so I think he picked that because is covering a Japanese song. It's like when you go into a hinoki tub, and it's very like feels really good, a steamy spring tub, right? And so he says it's like that feeling of when you go into a tub, and then he copies Noah's voice of how it would sound like when you go into this tub, and it's really hilarious. So that's basically what he's gonna do here. So let's watch.
그 추운 겨울에
Yeah, in the cold winter, you go into the yeah. He's so do you see like how Hamin is like impersonating, like going into the hinoki tub, and then copying the way Noah is singing, and it totally sounds like the way Noah is singing of like when you go into the tub, and so yeah, everyone is cracking up, but Uno particularly, he cracks up the most about this joke. Like I don't know why this is so funny to him, because I don't know why, but I just find that very funny that he thinks it's so hilarious. But it is hilarious, but Uno like seriously can't get over it. And so anyways, yeah, so this is the joke Hamin does at Noah of like making fun of his singing. So yeah, and so he does it like 3 times. And then here he's making fun of Yejun. But
아니 아까 전에 리허설 때 제대로 나왔는데 노양이 끝도 없이 놀리더라고요.
이따 또 놀리실 거예요.
작년에 있어요. 한 번만 다 주고 했어요.
So Uno, do you see Uno? He's totally he's this is really, I don't know, it's so hilarious to him. So he says to Hamin, "Can you do it again?" And so that's why Hamin does it again. But Uno it cracks me up how much Uno loves this joke. But then Hamin just said earlier of like Noah is already prepared to make fun of Hamin's way of singing, and so that's why Hamin is like, yeah, that's what I've been prepared to make fun of Noah. And so anyways, then they talk about how well Noah sings it, and then Hamin does compliment that Noah's voice sounds like a violin, and it's so beautiful, so anyways, yeah, they make fun of each other but compliment about the cover song. And so now Bombi's cover song is so nice. I think that song matches him so well, and he talks about it later how it's originally a female singer for the song, but he lowers the key to match his voice, but then he felt like it was better for him to lower the key to match him and singing it his own way. And I agree, he does it very well for his own. And so Hamin, he loves Bombi, but he makes he makes fun of him and compliments him at the same time. So we have to watch it, and then I'll explain what happened.
현지의 그 발음 맞아요. 진짜
그
그 느낌이 와요.
그게 인간이니까 맞죠?
Oh, I skipped it 1 second.
댓글 봤는데.
Okay.
제가 그렇게 말을 했다고 하더라고요.
네?
아 진짜요?
진짜?
맞죠?
나도 봤어.
Let me just mute it 1 second. Okay, so after listening to it, then yeah, Hamin's comment is shortly right after. Okay. Oops. Okay.
좋다.
자,
지금
야.
진짜 개인적인 저의 그거 이 커버곡
어.
중에는
진짜 형이 1등인 거. 감사합니다.
진짜 찰떡이에요 이거 진짜.
특히나
모든
진짜
게 완벽해.
발음이 너무 진짜 너무 정확한데 특히 그 닭가라네가
거기가 진짜 일본
닭가라 그게
그러니까요.
닭가라네 여기 부분을 너무 잘해요. 진짜 애니메이션에서 나올 것 같은.
맞아요.
초밥 이게 만들면서 닭가라네 이런 느낌.
네.
음식 나오면서 닭가라네.
So so when I first watched this and seeing Hamin like make fun of him but not make fun of him at the same time. So Hamin just said, you know, the first thing he says is like out of all of the guys cover songs, he thinks Pambi is the best, or at least it's his favorite. So he puts as his favorite, and Pambi's like, oh, thanks. And then he says, particularly, I really think your pronunciation in Japanese is like so accurate. It's so it sounds like a real Japanese person basically, and so he said, especially that pronunciation of that phrase you says takarane. I don't know Japanese, and so sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but he said that phrase of you saying takarane, it sounds so perfect, like, you know, so accurate. And so when he says that, then he kind of makes fun of him, like, you know, copying the tone of how Bombi sang it. And so that's so it's Hamin saying it, you know, in the same way that Bombi did, but not really, because it kind of sounds like he's making fun of him. But then he goes into saying, like, you know, it sounds like something that would say in like an anime, you know, in like an anime is something I would hear if like someone is making sushi. I don't know, Hamin's imagination is so funny, but he says like, I imagine like someone's making sushi and then someone's asking, you know, the chef about something, and then suddenly say takarane. Why he thinks this way, but then he keeps going with that. It really sounds like, you know, what you would hear in like a anime or sushi restaurant, that you would hear someone say that. He's just so funny. And so, you know, like it was complimenting Bombi, but sadly kind of making fun of him at the same time. But the thing is, Hamin talks about this later. He said when he rewatched this live stream, you know, they call it monitoring, like when they rewatch it to see how it went, and you know, just checking on themselves. He said that this part of him saying takarane is so like what's the word? It kept annoying him. He said, I'm so annoyed that my voice sounded like that. And so Hamin said that he regrets saying it that way, but I hope he knows. It's so funny. I think the way that he says it, and in some way making fun of Bombi, it's so hilarious. I laughed about that for like an hour after the live stream, and like even now it just still cracks me up. And so I really couldn't handle like Hamin is just being himself, but I swear he's turning to a top class comedian. Like, how can he think of these things so quickly? And then also the way that he makes fun of them, like impersonating these things, is just, oh, it's just so hilarious. And so anyways, so then later when I went into Uno's cover song, like Hami said, it's too perfect. I have nothing to say about it. And then they make fun of it. Like, Uno, how can you make it so perfect? And like, you should apologize. And Uno says, yeah, okay, fine, I'm sorry. And so that's funny. And then throughout the rest of this time, like Hamin continuously makes fun of saying takarane, like kind of randomly throughout this time. And so just he's so hilarious, and everyone like can what's the word, they are really good at on the spot, like, you know, making fun of each other, and it was really funny. And so those were the highlights. And then yeah, and then they get into like this quiz of like guessing what they think the member would say or do in that situation. Like, okay, yeah, Noah's situation.
시작하도록 하겠습니다. 노아 소개 부탁드려요.
Yeah.
자, 첫 번째 상황입니다. 자, 노아가 추천 맛집에
Yeah, I already remember what it is. And so here he's saying like, okay, so the first situation is with Noah. So Noah is taking everyone to a restaurant that he knows is really, really good. And so he's taking everyone there, and he's checking on his map, you know, to make sure that he knows how to get there. Except once he gets there, the restaurant is not there. So what is Noah's reaction when he realizes the restaurant is not there? And so everyone has to guess what they think Noah's reaction would be. And so you know, this is supposed to be my review of the live stream, not giving a summary, but I personally thought that this was really funny of his answer. So let me just cut to the chase. So his answer, Noah, is that if that were to happen to him, he would say, "Oh, the restaurant most likely moved." So I find that kind of funny. Like he wouldn't blame on like maybe he got lost or maybe he got the directions wrong. No, his first thought would be, "Oh, most likely the restaurant moved." And so Noah's reasoning for that is that if this is a restaurant that I really like and I know how to get there because I went there often and it's my favorite restaurant, right? So how would I not know where it is? he's I don't know how to explain that personality of his, but he is like just so overly confident of himself, which we all really like about him, is one of his like biggest charms in my opinion, but also sometimes could be annoying, let's be real, right? But this just reminds me of just how overly confident Noah is. It's like how could I not know where my favorite restaurant is? And so if I get lost and I can't find it, that means most likely the restaurant moved. So I just found that really funny, but makes total sense. Of course Noah would say that. And so yeah, so they go through this with every member, and yeah, so I thought Noah's I thought that was funny, and so that was my review about it. And then with the other guys, Yeju's was kind of funny, but it's again, I mean, just being a comedian, and so just it says most replayed is yeah. So here is like so the situation with Yejun is they're recording a song, and so Yejun is part of produce line, and so he would be one of the guys to listen to whoever's singing and like give feedback and like how to improve on it and whatnot. And so if a situation happened where like a member he's not like singing too well, I think maybe his throat is not feeling well, or maybe he's sick. So if a member is not singing so well, what would be Yejun's response to that? So everyone is guessing what they think Yejun what Yejun would say. And Hamin, he said, he says, "Oh, can I answer for real?" Like, not joking. He's like, "Can I answer for real?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course, answer for real." And so he says, he says his answer, hey Hamin, do you want to die?" And so I'm just like, so of course he's kidding. Okay, of course he's kidding. And then this is Yejun's reaction of Hamin is like Hamin is lying. And so Yejun went over and he's shaking his hand like that of like it's supposed to mean Hamin is adding MSG, he's adding too much, like he's being extra right now, so he's lying. And so that's the reaction after Hamin said what Yejun would say. And then later on though, the correct answer, Yejun says the correct answer he would say is just do it. And so Yejun says that, and Noah and everyone else says the same way, but then Noah in particular is like, "Hey, you wouldn't say that, you don't know yourself." And so it just goes into this little thing with everyone, and Hami makes another joke about it again. And so anyways, they're so silly, so funny. So this segment as well of them guessing what a person would say or do in a certain situation, they're just pure comedians, like being themselves, but top class comedians. And so I really enjoyed it. Usually their radio shows are not this lively, but I think this happens just because there's 5 of them. So I've seen in most cases when it's the 5 of them and them talking with each other and cracking jokes like this, it just comes off more easily when it's 5 of them there rather than 2 or 3 together. So I do think that's why this PLAVE radio was just a lot more lively and more fun, and they just came from a 2-week break, so they're fully rested and energized. And so I really felt that in this radio show, and I really liked it. And so that's why I wanted to review on it before I forget, because it happened 12 days ago. So anyways, I also sadly talked way too much, but I'm glad to end this review of this live stream. I believe after they finish that segment, then yeah, it was over. Yeah, so let's see the yeah, that's them. Yeah. The ending song was "I Just Love Ya" by PLAVE, and they were singing to it, and it was very, very nice. So yeah, so it was a very feel good stream, and I do want to review the next streams. Can I do it tonight. Yeah, because right now it's nighttime in Korea as I'm doing this. But I really want to review about their Japan album. I think I should do that first before it feels too late, right? Because it was just released a few days ago. So I'm thinking I have enough time to do that. I think so. Okay. So thank you for listening / watching. And I shall be back shortly because I still have time and energy to do more videos. So yay me. Okay, so see you again very soon.